live at the Blue Cross Arena at the Rochester War Memorial. Good afternoon, everyone. Dave Barnick, and alongside me, happy to have the fine coach from the Lions, Zach Young, and we are about to bring you today's championship venue, the once beaten Red Raiders of Caledonia-Mumford versus the undefeated Clyde-Savannah Golden Eagles, who come into this contest 20 up, 0 down, hoping to complete a tremendous 21-0 run with a Section 5 championship title here today. And of course, it's not that those 20 wins all came easily for the Golden Eagles. They barely got by Zach Young's Lions team by 4 points in the game leading up to this in Waterloo, New York. And back on December 10th, probably a game that Zach remembers very well, Clyde held off the hometown Lions winning by 51-50. Those are the games that players certainly, and coaches I'm sure, linger in their minds for some days to come. Good afternoon, Zach. Happy to have you with us today. It should be a good one here in Rochester.
Hi, Dave. Glad to be here. Should be a great game. Probably the two teams all year long, number 1, number 2 seeded. Cal-Mum, only one loss on the year, came to Perry, who just won the Class C3 championship right before this game. Clyde had a couple close games with ourselves and also with North Rose this year. But despite some close calls, we're able to come out on top, and they're dealing with some injury problems coming into this game. That's a key factor for Clyde. How healthy is Cam DeSanto? Yeah,
that would be the big question. Certainly one of the top players, not only in the Wayne County League, but in the entire Finger Lakes. Indeed, Section 5, I would have to say he's got to be in consideration for one of All Greater Rochester All-Stars. And he and his running mate, Jermaine Bogan, create a lot of chaos and havoc on the court for opponents. You really don't know. Against your team, Lions, he was suited. It was a very close game, but he did not play.
Yeah, Cam suited up, and I don't know what the game plan was going in. Wanted to see how it felt or whatever, but he did not play. Joe Main and Joe Faniel really carried him in that game offensively, and Michael Turner and Cal Falker came up with a couple baskets along with Jason Doig, but they're definitely a different team without Cam on the floor. I don't think there's any mistaking that. He's very explosive. He's been there before with a sectional title last year, and he's a 2-time player of the year in the Wayne County League. He won it this year as well. When him and Joe Main are out there together, along with Turner, not a more athletic line in Class C, in my opinion.
And what I noticed when I had the opportunity to watch them, unfortunately in that one game that wasn't as close at Clyde between Lions and Clyde, they seem to really enjoy giving the ball up to each other, too. They're very unselfish.
Best part about their team, very unselfish. I don't think anybody really cares who scores. I know Coach Jackson had a quote in the paper for one game getting on them about that. But I really don't think they care who gets the headlines. I think they just want the W's, and that's the great thing about their team. All seniors been playing together for a long time, and close-knit team, and it's paid dividends this year for sure.
And your team obviously knows about injuries. Unfortunately, missing out on a couple of key players. In fact, the young man Hunter that I saw missing was, in my view, maybe your top player. But different strategy for your team, which did not rely on size. Cal-Mum does have the size to combat Clyde size.
Yes, Caledonia-Mumford has a very good player in Will Van Auken. He's a junior, had 31 points, 19 rebounds, 3 blocks, 3 steals in the semifinal win over Cuba Rushford. He's a load. He's 6'5". He's very, very physical. They have a couple other good athletes. Curtis Hout, who's 6 foot, 190, outstanding quarterback, defensive player on their football team. And they have a couple other wide bodies that they'll throw in there. Spencer Hartz, who comes off the bench, is also 6'3", 190. And again, they're in their same class as us, so I'm pretty familiar with them. They do have some size. The key for Caledonia, in my opinion, They've played some athletic teams, but I don't think they've played a team as athletic as Clyde. Are they going to be able to keep up with that athleticism? Can they make it a half-court game? I don't think they can win going up and down with Clyde. Clyde obviously wants to go up and down. So I think tempo is going to be a key factor in the game for both teams.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And Cal Mum, go back to, I remember Junior Poles, who was a big space eater on the basketball court, better known as going to Boston College to play football. I believe that was the last championship, the Caledonia-Mumford Red Raiders, who are in that 3-division Livingston County League.
Correct.
And they suffered only one loss early in the year to this Perry team. You mentioned Perry won moments ago, 56-48. I think they were the 4th seed in against.
Perry was the one.
They beat Wheatland Chili 56-48, and a lot of games being played today. Some heartbreakers last night. Geneva girls losing at the end to Wayne in a rematch of Finger Lakes East teams. Romulus winning in a rout, and we got lots of games. Bloomfield playing in the game after this one, but we're set to bring you Clyde-Savannah Cal Mum basketball. I want to thank our owner, producer, Jim Sinacropi, who's got us set up here, along with our ace cameraman, Jeremy Hunt, back in the fold after a trip to the Dark Continent and being ill from that return trip. But we're looking forward to this one, and some little deja vu all over again for myself, Zach, as I had the opportunity to do many games here in the past, and you would much, I know you enjoy this and do a fine job, but you would much rather be down there on the court, I'm sure.
Yeah, correct. We've been here the last 2 years. It's an exciting time for your school and for your team, but sometimes you come up a little short, and we did, and Clyde's a heck of a team, and they're going to represent our league well today. You know, for Caledonia, they're a team that has always been close to getting here. They, since 2002, have been to the semis 6 times, and they just haven't broken through since Dan Dickens' first year. And now they're here. It should be a great game.
And you had a chance to talk to Coach Dickens before the game, a colleague of yours, someone you've run into and known over the years. And what tidbits did he drop on you, if any, looking ahead to this game today?
He was obviously doesn't know how Cam is going to perform. He wants to get the ball into Van Alken quite a bit. And he thinks if Clyde sits in their zone that they're going to have to hit some shots, much like any team. They play a 1-2-2 matchup, very athletic at the top. And he knows he needs to keep it a half-court game. But he is not scared of the rebounding factor, which Clyde has a major edge on most teams. The only team really I think that can match them in our league is North Rose. And North Rose gave him a great game the last time they played him. So he needs to keep it a half-court game. He knows the big 3 that you have to key on. Joe Faniel, who's been playing outstanding, Joe Main Bogan, and Cam DeSanto, obviously. He's got to try to keep them in check. The question is, if you focus on one, the other 2 are going to hurt you.
Well, Van Alken, who you mentioned, a 6'5" junior, had an incredible stat line in that semifinal victory. 31 points, 19 rebounds. That's a lot on any level. 3 blocks, 3 steals, and he served Gatorade at halftime to his teammates. But he's not alone. He's got pretty good size complementing him. Maybe the edge to the talented Clyde backcourt and Fennell against their backcourt.
Yeah, I think the forward matchup could be even. I think Joe Faniel is really going to play a big key in this game if Clyde-Savannah is going to come out with a victory. I don't think that Cal Mum has anyone that can stay in front of him. And if Joe's jump shot is on, like it has been, he's going to be tough to stop. So for me, even if Caledonia and Clyde kind of keep even down low, Joe should have an advantage. Cal Mum's going to counter with a little more depth. They have some players that can come in off the bench that can score. Jake McEwen had 8 points off the bench for him last game. He's kind of a wild card for him. They have Nick Klein, who coming off the bench is a real good defender. So depth, foul trouble, as everyone's been saying all year. Well, if Clyde gets in foul trouble, they're in trouble. Well, they haven't really been in foul trouble all year. They've been very disciplined with it. I've only seen 1 game. So some key points coming into it.
Yeah, who, if either big man for either squad gets in foul trouble first, may be one of the critical components for today's matchup. You couldn't ask for a better matchup Again, the top 2 seeds, one team with 1 loss, and they're lost to a sectional winner here moments ago, as we mentioned, and Clyde undefeated. The last month of their season, they've had a few close ones, though, much like the Syracuse Orangemen.
Yeah, they've been in some close games, but Coach Jackson talked about after our game they needed to have a couple close games, just to get used to that, because they really have blown some teams out in our league. It's very hard when you're the marked team, when you're undefeated. Everybody gives you your best game. Been in this situation before as a coach. It's hard to get your kids up for every game. They won't have a problem getting up for this game, I can tell you that. They'll be ready to go.
So it looks like starting lineups are being introduced with Thomas Barefoot, Chris Wilson, Will Van Auken, and we anticipate Curtis Halt and Kyle Preston. For Clyde, we're expecting Joe Fanil, Jason Doig. He doesn't shoot much, but he does a good job managing the offense.
Jason's he's a very good defender. He knows his role. That's the most important and most impressive thing about Jason. He knows his role. They don't need him to score. Good defender, and he really gets the ball into transition well for Clyde.
The other Clyde starters, and Jomaine Bogan, a force inside at about 6'5", Cam DeSanto and Michael Turner. And I had my own experience, but that was a long time ago. And what did you notice or tell your kids to prepare for the difference in playing in an arena this size with a floor that's moved in and out? They talk about dead spots, the depth perception.
Shooting is definitely one thing that you talk about. And an advantage that Clyde has is the majority of these kids played a game here last year. Whereas Cal-Mum's their first time being here. Clyde should. I think that really helped us last year. We got to the finals the year before, lost in a tough game. We seemed a little more comfortable in our setting. But pretty much just all the stuff before. You only have limited time to warm up, the game before. You're a little more prepared when you have that experience of playing. Now, Clyde did not have a very competitive game last year. If you were here, Clyde beat Kendall 72-28 in one of the most lopsided finals you'll ever see. So I still think just being able to get here and shoot and warm up is an advantage for Clyde.
We're just about ready to tip it off, and we are underway in this championship game. Clyde with the tap, inside feed, and Bogans now has the tap out. His shot is off the rim short. Here comes Cal-Mum the other way. It is Preston handling the ball out front, looks inside, and they had an open man, but a good knockaway by DeSanto. We'll be watching him carefully, hoping that young man's ankle is back to close to full strength. He's had trouble with that at different times throughout the season. Dave Barnick along with Zach Young for Finger Lakes 1, and here's a turnover. And Clyde will come the other way. No score, just underway.
Clyde was in man-to-man that last possession, but another turnover, 2 turnovers early in the game for Clyde, a little jitters.
And a good job by the Cal-Mum player, Preston, getting fouled. Missed the shot, but knew enough to throw it up there and hope, and he'll go to the line shooting 2.
If you follow Clyde-Savannah this year, they've played a lot of 1-2-2 matchup. I think they really feel that they can get after Cal-Mum's guards, maybe the reason they're in man-to-man.
Preston gets the friendly roll, and the Red Raiders are on the board first. They play schools in their league. Well, I'll give you all that. Livonia won Division I undefeated, and 1 out of 2 for Preston. Perry won the Division III, and Cal-Mum the Division II champions. And Bogan inside, slapped away, gets it back up strong, but throws up an air ball. Here comes Cal-Mum. Not over the timeline as yet, as Clyde gets back nicely on defense, and they are in the man-to-man.
Extended out all the way to half court. Cam seems to be moving pretty well on his ankle.
They turn on him there, and in and out. Nearly went back in, down court quickly. Bogan's looking, laid up. No, they're going to call him for steps. And it is very early. He does look a bit over-anxious here in the early going. Of course, Clyde looking to run at every opportunity and will throw the full court man-to-man press, at least to start things.
And a little bit of the soft press, as they've done most of the year. Sometimes they will get really in your shorts in a full-court man.
And we got to travel the other way. So both teams little unsettled is not to be unexpected.
I think five turnovers, that is, Dave, in the first minute and a half. And you can see those of you who are listening, Cal Mum dropping off of Jason Doig and not really guarding him on the perimeter, keeping an extra guy inside as Bogan gets
Bogan, strong move inside, and Clyde on the board with the bucket. And I noticed that same thing. They just daring Jason Doig to shoot. He'll take a couple a game, but not too many. So Dickens aware of the Clyde personnel, I'm sure. Driving to the lane, throwing it up and in with a nice move by Thomas, barefoot. But let me assure you, his sneaks are laced. So it's 3-2, Cal Mum in front, and falling down as he misses the outside shot from the wing.
But there could have been a foul on that box out. I don't know if he let him come down.
3-2, Clyde trails by a point. Cal Mum with a basketball out front. Kyle Preston. 2.5 minutes into quarter one. The long three, air ball. Here comes Doig, finds Bogan. Bogan, lay it up. Doesn't get the roll, but the follow-up is right there by Faneuil.
I don't think Coach Dickens very happy with that shot by Cal Mum, and as you can see, Cal Mum going right back at him.
And the bucket is good, and the foul will send Kurt Hout to the line.
One thing I have noticed for Clyde is Joe Main is really leaking out and getting some transition looks. Now, he's missed a couple. I still think if you're Coach Jackson, you have to like the pace of the game right now.
It is amazing the difference playing on these in this arena, and the setting is just a very different perspective. Takes a while to get used to. 3-point opportunity is converted. And it's 6-4. I kind of would be surprised if either team won by a lot today. We're anticipating a pretty close contest. Faneuil dribbles, good defense. Now
Nick Klein into the game for Cal Mum. He's on Joe Faneuil, and they're looking to work it into Bogans, and fouls called.
Yep,
Hartz.
Bogan bumped from behind as he was trying to establish himself on the low post. And Doig will look to inbound. Open three, DeSanto, bang! And that's good for that young man's confidence. And it's nice when you have a 6'4" kid who can bang him from outside too. Layup the other way, no. Clyde looks to run. Doig controlling. Pull-up jumper. Bang! The other way again. Faneuil. Was that a 2 or a 3? I think another.
I think a 3. They gave him a 3.
So they're finding those nets to the liking. Down court against the press, missing the chippy. Doig got back to bother the shot just enough. And we got a rebounding foul on Cal Mum.
You know, Cal Mum is running. They are playing up-tempo. And I know Coach Dickens, he doesn't look very happy up there. They've had some good looks in transition, but when you miss, Clyde will make you pay, and that's what Joe just did. He's going to beat you down the court. He's almost unblockable with a jump shot, and a wide-open 3. Success for Clyde.
Inside feed, turn around back to Bogans. He's going to try a 3. It's an air ball, but saved by Faneuil out deep and out of bounds. It'll be Cal Mum ball. You know, one thing that I had failed to mention that just occurred to me, there have been a lot of championship games played between Cal Mum and Clyde, but usually it's on the gridiron.
Very successful football programs, no doubt about that. Both were in the finals this year, as you mentioned that. And
the pass intended for one player, actually they found Van Auken, and he gets the bucket. 10-8 your score. Happy to be bringing you this on Finger Lakes 1. Little 4 shot, nothing but the bottom of the net for Faneuil, and he's continued to impress with improvement as the season's gone on.
I cannot say enough about Joe, how much better he is this year than last year on the offensive end.
Now that's a bad foul, Coach, as well on Bogans because it was near mid-court, and that's the.
I think they gave it to Doig. It could have been on Bogans.
Yeah, it looked like
break for Clyde for sure. Somebody checking in for Clyde. Looks like they're taking Cam out of the game. Cal Felker checking in, probably managing, maybe limiting Cam's minutes a little bit with that ankle.
Well, we hope we get to see him for a full 4 quarters or as many minutes as necessary.
Now, Cal Felker had a very good, impressive game versus us on Monday. Did a couple little things, got some rebounds, made some big buckets in the end.
They give an open look to the Cal Mum player for 3. No, but the rebound also missed, but a foul will send McEwen to the line.
Offensive rebound opportunity for Cal Mum. Can they capitalize? With Cam out of the game, they definitely have a size advantage. Now Cam is coming back in after that offensive rebound. Short rest for Coach Jackson.
And Zach, as McEwen at the line gets the first, I imagine against many of the teams that Cal Mum faced, they were actually coached, run when we have it. But against Clyde, it's a different scenario.
No doubt. Same thing for our team. We are a running team, and we had to slow the game down versus them the first time, because if we didn't, I just didn't think, I wasn't confident in that. Clyde is too athletic to run with, and I know Cal Mum does not want to get in that type of game. Last couple minutes, they've slowed it down a little bit into their tempo.
12-9, Clyde in front, and Doig takes a rear shot, misses. Clyde saves it, and then it's knocked away and stolen. Here comes Cal Mum. Just under 3 minutes opening quarter. Clyde by 3. Cal Mum will try to make it 1 with a jumper at short. And the rebound by Michael Turner, who's an unsung player who does lots of good things for the Golden Eagles, who just called timeout. They have the ball. We'll keep it right here. We want to thank all our sponsors throughout the basketball season at Finger Lakes 1. And happy to be bringing you this broadcast from the Blue Cross Arena. And let's see, Bloomfield plays who in the next game?
Bloomfield Early College at 3 o'clock right after this. The C games so far have been more competitive than any of the C games if you were here last year. All 3 games were blowouts. Clyde blowing out Kendall, Lions blowing out York, and the game after us was a blowout as well. Minders taking care of Avon. So a little more competitive today from the outset.
Coach, as the players about to resume play here, what's your view on the 3 officials versus 2 officials as a coach?
My view is they don't do it all year, so how are you going to be as good at it as if you have 2? However, they do see a little bit more of the game, and it is what it is. I can't control it. I don't really care either way, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind 3 all year. I just don't think it's feasible.
That's a good point, as Turner and called for steps, I believe.
Cal Mum not guarding Turner out of the paint, as a lot of teams have this year. Great rebounder, great athlete, hardworking kid, struggles outside of the paint, and you can see their turnover for Clyde.
And meant as a compliment, kind of the garbage man, too.
Absolutely. What energy the kid brings.
Here's a steal by Bogans. Watch out. Will it be a rim rattler? No, behind the back pass to Turner, and he misses the layup. That was not the wisest of play. Worst case scenario, he would have drawn a foul, I would have thought, even if he missed the layup. Then we had a turnover the other way, lots of action.
I think Felker got away with a little bit of a foul there, and the ball is turned over. Clyde gets it, and then a foul on Cal Mum. Coach Dickens on the sideline, stamping his feet, not happy.
Now, if Turner had converted, Zach, everybody would have been on their feet, but
I think for Joe Main there, you got to just make the simple play for the layup. He had position, or even dunk it. He's capable of dunking the ball there.
As you know firsthand, as Doig takes his second shot almost from the same spot, left wing, and Cal Mum with a rebound. Down 3, under 2 to play, first quarter. Spinning move inside, but the pass knocked away.
Cal Mum continues to play at a fast pace.
DeSanto going to take it to the hole, layup no. Not a lot of left, you could kind of see that, but Turner there.
That's a play right there that Cam finishes during the season, in my opinion. A jump ball, Cal Mum's ball. Cal Mum needs to slow down and take better shots. They are trying to play Clyde's game. Maybe their game plan was to run.
Well, it did look like DeSanto a little tenuous.
Another turnover.
And there's another turnover. In fact, it'll all depend, obviously, on the outcome. But if Clyde does not prevail in this game, they might even look back to this first quarter with the multiple turnovers that they didn't convert on as many. They're going to try again here.
Again, Joey out of the game for Clyde-Savannah, Joe Faniel, and that could be a charge, and it is.
Yeah, so Doig not off to a good start himself, and quickly Faniel will be back into the contest, perhaps replacing Doig.
Doig has 2. Joe sat more this game than he did the whole Lions-Clyde game, for the record, folks. Just for a minute or two, maybe to calm some nerves down. Calmon making some subs. Clyde in their pressure defense, they've switched their looks. Joe Main at the top here, making it hard to get in and kind of dropping into their soft little matchup press, trying to get a deflection. It's bothered Calmon.
12-9 your score. You're listening to Finger Lakes 1 with a chance following the game and in the future to check it out on video as you please. Calmon stymied the last few trips down court, and they're going to be stymied again with, how many is that? I got to think they're close to double-digit turnovers in first quarter alone.
It's at least 8. They need to settle down and get the ball to Van Auken. He's their best player. He's not getting touches. Their kids are a little panicky. Maybe they can settle down at the quarter here. They're not getting good looks.
So Clyde, under a minute to play. They haven't converted since that timeout with just under 3 minutes to play. We've had no scoring.
That being said, Clyde has not had a lot of their scoring inside, a lot from the outside. You have 3. As Cam takes another jumper and he nails it.
DeSanto bangs it home. They give it a long 2 for Cam. And we'll see if, well,
there it is.
They're not going to hold for 1, but Van Auken will go to the line shooting 2 as he is fouled. 14-9, 23 seconds left in quarter number 1 from the Rochester War Memorial. I prefer the long-standing name of the facility in tribute to all the veterans and history of this
Calmon should hold for 1 shot. They'll have a hard time getting the ball in. Clyde does a great job of denying. Let's see if they hold for 1. Clyde does have 6 team fouls.
Out deep and missed shot, rebound, no, and Clyde has it. And they got 12 seconds to do something with it. Quickly up court. Bounce pass inside. Lay it up. No, but a foul. Really nice pass. Slid in there. And going to the line will be Felker.
Curious decision by Calmon to shoot that early. Will Van Auken picks up his 2nd foul for Calmon.
That's big
factor.
Very big.
14-9, 15-9 after the free throw. Felker, again, paying dividends, ran the court well, pump faked, nice move. Calmon really should be 14-9 going to the end of the quarter, but a quick shot. Clyde gets into transition again.
Yeah, they did not hesitate, and Felker bangs home both free throws, and our largest lead of the game so far at 7. And now Calmon, 3 seconds left in the period. The shot does not go, and that'll do it for quarter number 1. Here in Rochester, Clyde in front, 16-9 over Calmon. High school basketball championship action when we return.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Jody Torrio. If you're like me, you've got stuff lying around the house that you want to recycle, but you're just not sure how, like broken toasters, vacuum cleaners, or microwaves. At Seneca Meadows, we have a drop-off for those. Bring in anything with a cord, and we'll make sure it's recycled properly through our partnership with 2TRG. It's that easy.
Clyde-Savannah in front 16-9 over Calmon after 1 quarter. Dave Barnick along with Zach Young, Jeremy Hunt, Jim Sinacropi here for Finger Lakes 1. And before too much time eclipses, want to wish all the best to the South Seneca Lady Falcons. I think that's a 3 o'clock tip-off today in a championship game against Keshequa, where the Falcons will be an underdog, I would say, but their young freshman-laden team's done a fine job all season long. So, Clyde with a chance to double Cal-Mum's score here as they operate. As you look at your inside feed, blocked, Turner's shot, no good, and Cal-Mum could use a hoop, driving to the lane, blocked the other way. Turner, what a play. Turner missed the inside shot and showed presence of mind to not sulk, not give up on the play, return the other way. Zach with a great block.
That is a tough call for Clyde. Great hustle by Turner.
Oh, my.
Great hustle by Turner. Cal-Mum's going to the foul line, and that's the 7th team foul on Clyde this quarter, so that's a big factor. Cal-Mum needs to settle down, and they should be able to take advantage of their pressure D there in the bonus the rest of the way. Also, big move by Coach Dickens here, leaving Van Auken in the game. I agree with the decision. You're down 7. If you put him on the bench, you could get buried. Leaving him in, Clyde should attack him, try to get him out of the game. That's a big factor.
And
Bogans with another jump shot. Clyde scoring primarily on the outside, but they're knocking down the shots. 18-11.
Yeah, I looked away thinking that was a clean block. When I looked back, the Cal-Mum player was at the line, and we got a Cal-Mum Dickens not happy with the efforts to break the press. I think that was Curtis Hall at the line that connected the free throws.
I believe so. I mean, really, Turner misses the bunny. Could have put his head down and sulked. Sprinted the entire length of the court. I thought, from my view, a clean block, but they call the foul. Sometimes you don't get it. Again, keeps his head. Good for that young man.
Now, Wayne County has a history of being rightly or wrongly, of being somewhat of a run and gun league. However, Zach, maybe Clyde not getting enough credit for the fine defense that they demonstrate, because right now, while Cal-Mum's only down 7, they've only scored 11 points in a quarter plus a minute.
They're not getting clean looks. They're not running any sets, really. They're just trying to kind of play to Clyde's style. And Clyde, looks like they might have been dropped into their matchup here, probably to protect out of the foul trouble. Now, Joe Main will come out and extend and trap randomly. They are in their extended 1-2-2.
And they're giving fits to Cal-Mum, the 15-footer from the elbow, no. And we're going to have a reach-in foul on Doig.
Third on Doig, which is a big factor. Doig does not get a lot of credit, but he does do a lot of little things. Third on Doig, 1-on-1 for Cal-Mum.
And we have multiple substitutions coming in the contest. 2 for Clyde, 1 for the Golden Eagles. Actually, Turner goes out along with Doig.
I believe Turner has 2 as well. So Murray is in the game for Clyde and Felker. Their depth going to be a little tested here.
At the line, Cal-Mum shot. Nice form, nice result. It's in for Chris Wilson, and he'll have another.
A lot of people all year thought this could be the downfall of Clyde. Their depth, their role players going to have to step up.
And they're big players, of course, too. Bogans, DeSanto, Fanil. And Fanil with the ball near midcourt. They try to get it into Bogans.
And again, right away,
pass.
A turnover from Murray. He's a freshman, played JV most of the year. Cal-Mum running, and this time
missing the layup, however, and Clyde will come the other way. Cal-Mum back, dish off Bogan, open baseline jumper, yes! That shot eerily and disappointingly familiar to that Jabari Parker shot that Jim Sinacropi and I remember with chagrin.
What happens a lot, you miss a layup in transition versus Clyde, they make you pay. It's a 4-point swing.
And again, a quick forced shot from the corner by Cal-Mum. The best thing that's happening for them is that they're fighting and getting second opportunities, but as you have noted several times, Zach, Dickens, I can't think, can be happy with them pulling the trigger so quickly with outside shots.
No, you got Van Auken did have a layup that last possession. You think he'd make it. Felker now picking up his second. So they have a multitude of players with 2 fouls. 1-on-1 miss, though, for Cal-Mum. They just can't score the bucket.
Here comes the Golden Eagles. Fanil leaves for Felker. Calmum nicely getting back, so they'll reset the offense. Rotation, double low post right side. Ball on the opposite wing.
Daring Murray to shoot. He can score the ball.
And the nice little jump hook is good.
This is danger time for Calmum. They need to get a couple of buckets to settle themselves down.
And that's a different, pardon me.
And a big three by number 22, Jake McEwen, who has came off the bench and scored a lot for Calmum, cuts it to 7. Can Calmum take advantage of a couple of these players being out for Clyde? Not really guarding Falker or Murray outside of the paint.
Long bomb, DeSanto, no, it's short. Slapped away, but controlled by Calmum. Here come the Red Raiders, driving through the lane. Layup missed again. Rebound fall for Clyde has it.
It's just not something that Calmum's used to. You get back and you have long arms of DeSanto, Bogans, Turner, and they've really struggled finishing in their transition attempts.
The long arms of the law. So both teams missing some inside opportunities during the course of the game so far. We approach midway, quarter number 2, 22-15 Clyde. They have the basketball. Driving, stop and pop. Yes! Fanil with a pretty move from about 12.
I really think if you're Calmum, you're not upset about some of the baskets Clyde has made. They're shooting a high percentage from outside the paint right now. You got to make them shoot jumpers, and when they hit, they're a very, very tough team to beat.
So 24-15 as the scoreboard clock was incorrect, and then altered shot, rebound, Calmum blocked away, and I think it's going to be Calmum's basketball. But
I mean, Van Auken that time was blocked from behind by Murray, a freshman. Van Auken's got to win that matchup.
And Clyde, or Calmum has to be a little frustrated by the number of opportunities that are getting knocked away inside that are probably buckets in that Livingston County League.
Great minutes by Murray there. Had a bucket, did okay, didn't turn the ball over. Turner checking back in for Clyde.
9-point lead. Neither team, well, Clyde has basically been in front since the first couple of minutes when Calmum led early.
Now it looks like Nick Klein has some blood on him for Calmum. Going to try to patch him up. Substitution mandatory in high school basketball. Blood on your jersey, face, nose, arm, anywhere you have to come out.
The Red Raiders wearing more like a burgundy or maroon colored jersey with white numerals. Clyde in their white home uniforms being the #1 seed with purple and gold trim and purple numerals. Driving and taking an extra step, not called for it, missing the layup, but getting the rebound.
Another
shot clock. Well, they got a new shot clock. I didn't think it hit the rim.
Multiple shots altered by Turner, DeSanto, and Bogans at the rim. They just can't get any to fall.
And their fourth opportunity. The good news is for Clyde, they're missing those shots. The bad news is Calmum keeps getting the offensive boards, and that'll send Wilson to the line. And somebody picked up their third foul. It sounded like the public address announcer.
It was a third foul. I couldn't tell if it was on Turner or Falker. We'll see. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Calmum gambling, keeping Van Auken in with 2. He hasn't picked his third up yet. He's been close a couple times. Not making the free throws either for Calmum.
1 out of 2 for Wilson and Calmum. Down 8. Fanil with the ball for Clyde. Bogans has it right wing, 30 feet away from the hoop. Couple of steps in at the fouling. Little nice move, and one of those tough block charge calls. He gets the call, and Bogans, Jomaine, will go to the line for 2.
Jomaine has been a difference maker today. He's made his jump shots. He's bothered Calmum at the rim. He's just a tough matchup. In Class C, you don't see that type of athlete very often.
Unofficially, Fanil with 9 leading all scores. Bogans cashes in on the first free throw. He'll have another from the 15-foot stripe.
Murray checking back into the game. Falker, I believe, picked up his third, taking him out.
Well, Coach Tim Jackson will live with fouls being foul trouble, not for any of his big 3.
The big 3 have stayed out of it so far. That is correct.
Bogan misses the second free throw.
Cal-Mum really not able to take advantage of the double bonus situation, and haven't got a lot of clean looks. So look a little confused on offense.
Here's a little sky high floating jumper, won't go, and quickly down court. It's Bogan spinning, has it stripped away and stolen. Down court the other way, and boy, that's one that NFL quarterbacks use just to stop the clock, as it was zipped way out of bounds near the array of the brand new cars.
Cal-Mum's got to be shooting under 20% for the game.
Now, I don't know if you knew this, Zach, but apparently the winning coach in each class gets one of those new cars this year. Unlike last year.
That's new this year, huh?
Here's an air ball, and Cal-Mum saves to a Clyde player, lay it up and in.
Cardinal sin in basketball. Player for Cal-Mum on his opposite court, Clyde's end, throws it back in right to DeSanto. You're not going to get an easier bucket than that.
That was a gift, and Cam, who didn't play in the semifinal win, has 7.
Cal-Mum really doesn't look like they know what they're trying to do versus this matchup zone.
Very frustrated, and yet another turnover, Zach, 27-16. And it's not that Clyde's offense has been electric. It's been okay. But their defense and difficulties Cal-Mum has had have been the story.
You know, they have Van Auken out on the perimeter quite a bit, where I think he's really strong inside. And, yeah, you know, in transition, missing some easier shots. Really not getting a lot of clean looks, though, Dave. A lot of contested shots, and credit to Clyde's half-court D.
27-16. Fanil tries to make it 30 with a long 3. No. Turner's rebound. No. Rebound to Sano. Yes!
And right there, that time you saw Clyde-Savannah taking advantage on the offensive boards. Big run here put together by Clyde.
And Cal-Mum wants, needs, and calls the timeout. 29-16. A minute 34 remaining in quarter number 2. The Golden Eagles in quest of another Section 5 championship, trying to keep it in Wayne County, as the defending champion coach Zach Young is with me today from Lions. A nice array of really highly successful coaches, and you're following nicely in those footsteps. I think back to Rod Verke, Dean Schott, Steve Veeder, and I don't think I left anybody out. You were the next.
Yep.
Who will be the next in line by the Kinks, part of the British invasion of the 60s? You got that down, Jim?
Not familiar with that one, Dave.
At 4 o'clock this afternoon, a lot of DVRs will be going from this group of broadcasters, as the Syracuse Orangemen will try to get a little better ratio than that 27-6 foul shooting differential in Maryland the other day. Also in the state of Virginia, taking on the tough number 12 rated Virginia Cavaliers. Here today, Clyde, the winner of this game, would receive a bye and then come and watch the winners of the previous game. That would be Perry.
Correct. Perry,
and the winner of the Bloomfield.
Bloomfield Early College.
Early College.
Yeah, Early College. It's weird they have an NCAA team in the high school bracket this year. That's based on sectional point ranking. Even though Cal-Mum only has 1 loss and so does Perry, they would still receive the bye. Now, Cal-Mum going a little 1-4 high look here, trying something a little different. Again, Van Auken out on the perimeter.
So Cal-Mum needs a hoop. Nice move with a left hand off glass baseline shot.
I like attacking Cam off of the baseline. You know, really the 1-2-2. You think high post and baseline are the spots.
Inside, Turner, little jump fake, lays it up and in. Michael Turner's first bucket of the game. And Will Van Auken, who had that tremendous stat line, including 31 points in the semifinal victory, is yet another Cal-Mum turnover. Only 2 so far with under a minute to play in the first half. Pull-up jumper, bang, off the glass. He went to the bank after hours, Jermaine Bogan.
And I'll tell you right now, Cal-Mum is in a dangerous spot. They want to try to get this down to 10 or 13 if they can.
Well, we anticipated, I did anyway, a relatively close game by the top 2 seeded teams in the class. It's all Golden Eagles, but right there, and every bucket is much needed. Van Auken gets his second hoop.
But they got him a touch at the high post. You know, that's where he needs to catch the ball. High post, block area. Clyde's doing a good job of making it difficult for him to get that, but that's where he needs to touch the ball to be successful.
Stop and pop. Fanil, sweetness through the net with 3 seconds left in the half, and blocked away Van Auken. A picture tells the story. He wanted the call, but Clyde-Savannah will run into the locker room leading 35-20 at halftime, really stymieing the Cal-Mum Raiders through one half of play. Dave Bernick along with Zach Young.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Alan Larson. At Seneca Meadows, landfill gas is used as fuel to generate electricity to power between 12,000 and 18,000 homes. And because this fuel is burned at high temperature, it doesn't go into the atmosphere. To learn more, watch our videos at senecameadows.com.
Dave Bernick, Zach Young, Jeremy Hunt doing the fine controls production, along with owner-producer Jim Senacropi. From the Blue Cross Arena at the Rochester War Memorial, a game started a little slow, multiple turnovers by both teams. Cal-Mum had the early lead. I think it might have been 6-5 at one point or something like that. But since that point, Zach, it has been all Golden Eagle basketball, and their offense is also picking up, but their defense has totally thwarted the efforts of Cal-Mum. First, they seem to be rushing their offense, and then when they did get it inside and they had multiple opportunities, shots either blocked or altered by the Clyde big men inside.
I'm really surprised that Caledonia is running with Clyde. I know I mentioned it probably 5 or 6 times. When they run and miss a quick one, that feeds into what Clyde wants to do. Now, the last 4 or 5 minutes of the second quarter, I thought it was more of a half-court game. Clyde-Savannah is just making shots. They're, Joey's shooting well, Joe Main's shooting well. They had a couple buckets from Cam early. I mean, they're shooting better than 50% from the field, which in high school is very, very difficult to do. 15 for 29 as we just get the stats. And Cal-Mum, just the opposite, 6 for 26. And that's obviously a big disparity between both teams.
They have actually, I don't know who's keeping all these stats, and we appreciate it. It says 10 turnovers. It seems like 15 or more.
I'd say it's more than 10 to be honest with you. They don't count maybe a jump ball that goes to the other team or one that happens quick. But definitely, I think the turnovers, to be honest with you, are not correct.
Well, Fanil and DeSanto and Bogan have accounted for 29 of Clyde's 35 points. Cal Mum's entire team only has 20 points, but still, that's enough guys scoring for Clyde. Tim Jackson has to be pretty pleased that the wealth is being spread around.
I mean, really, if you're here watching the game, you're probably thinking, you know, Clyde could be up 20-23. Joe Main missed a couple easy layups early in the game that I think normally he finishes. Joe Faniel, can't say enough about him. 5 for 6 from the field, playing great defense. When he hits jumpers and Joe Main hits jumpers, Clyde is very difficult to beat. You want him to shoot from the outside, Dave, because you're not going to stop them down on the block most of the time. When they're hitting their jump shots, you know, I don't know if a lot of teams in Class C can beat them.
And that was really, I would say, you mentioned depth earlier as a question mark for Clyde, but their outside shooting was another question, although Fanil's all-around game has picked up throughout the course of the year, and as demonstrated by the big men today, both DeSanto and Bogan, unafraid and not that bad from the outside as well.
They have credited Clyde with 1 block, but they've altered probably 10 to 12 shots for Cal Mum. And Will Van Auken for Cal Mum, 1 for 7 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 points. If Cal Mum's going to get back in the game, as I mentioned once during the broadcast, he needs to get the ball high post or block. And many times he's catching it out on the perimeter and they're not getting it back to him. I don't think that's all Will's fault. I think that Cal Mum is just the speed of Clyde is forcing their players to play at that faster level, and it's bothering them.
And not unexpectedly, Clyde warming up much sooner than we even see the Cal Mum players. Obviously, Coach Dickens, some work to do, not only strategy-wise, but even restoring any lack of confidence he might be feeling by some of his players to try to start to cut into this 15-point halftime lead. Again, it's 35-20. Can never say the score too much for those people listening. 35-20, Clyde leading Cal Mum. Again, the winner wins the Section 5. Most schools kind of figure that is the big goal, win that title. And then if you go on beyond that, it's gravy, enjoyable. Of course, you want to win every game, every time you lace it up, whether it's 3-on-3 outside in the summer league or here in the sectional final. But the sectional final, they would be the winner of this one gets Monday off, a chance to watch the other 2 Class C champions for the right to play each other Wednesday night, for the right to go on to play in the states, as you would say, the regionals. Are they in the Rochester or Buffalo area this year?
They are at Buff State this year. It would be in Buff State on a Saturday. And I know the Buffalo Middle College, another college team we're talking about here. Buffalo Middle College beat Silver Creek last night. Silver Creek was the team that advanced last year. They beat Minders here on a Saturday. They lost their best player, but they had a 6'7" kid. Buffalo Middle College has advanced to Glen Falls 4 of the last 5 years. Section 5 has not had a team come out of Class C. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I don't think since 2005.
Now, let me ask. Now, is this kind of like John Adams and John Quincy Adams? Is Buffalo Middle College and Early College, were they related?
They were not related. Buffalo Middle College, I know some background. They the first year they went all the way, they won the state title. They defeated a very good Minders team. They were actually a Class A school, and much as what is happening in Rochester now, Class AA school that's split in half. All their basketball players ended up at the Class C school, and there was some controversy. Should they be Class C? Are they legit? And I know that it's just a tough draw for Class C here in the Rochester area, but sooner or later someone's going to knock them off. Minders could have beat Silver Creek last year. Hopefully the Section 5 representative can make that run to Glens Falls, because we all know that's special.
Well, let me ask you another question, Zach. How difficult is this for you? You know, you've been starting, let me think, November is the first practice, early November, mid-November?
Early November, yes.
And you spend as much time, it seems, with your players as you do with your family during that long stretch, November, December, January, February. Now we're in happy March 1st. And Monday, you were on the sidelines trying to pull out the upset. Great effort, lost by only 4. Now you're up here watching this. It's got to be a tough transition because the wounds are still a little fresh, are they not?
The wounds are a little fresh, but, we gave a great effort on Monday. And when you lose your last game and you play hard and you play well, you can live with it. It's a little harder when, I think if Clyde ends up winning this game, Coach Dickens is going to be very upset because I don't think that Cal Mum is playing up to their capability. When you lose a game that, most people didn't think you were going to win, I didn't go home happy. But I went home happy with our effort.
What's 35-20, again, Clyde in front of Cal Mum, the winner of the Section 5 sectional championship. But that's the other point, I think, Zach. This is you finished your 5th year as head coach, but there might be teams that actually have better records that you don't appreciate as other teams that you or other coaches have who, give the effort, give all they have to even overachieve certain years. And you had injuries, which certainly factored into
our seniors stepped up at the end, and it was I know we lost, but at least those kids could know that, they had a great last game they were a part of. In high school, you got to coach what you have, and if you can get max effort from your players, there's no recruiting. You just kind of go with it. And, I think you appreciate it a little bit more. I appreciate the run we had the last couple of years a little more being up here on the opposite side. And hopefully we can get back.
And we're just about set to start the second half of play. The nice buzz that goes on during the school as things progress in the sectionals, too, with the different kids and different people in the communities, the coffee shops. Well, anyway, back to live action and connecting, and they need a lot more of that. Van Auken.
Right away, though, Dave, as we mentioned at halftime, Van Auken, high post, where he's comfortable. He has very good footwork. Basket right off the start. If you're Cal Mum here, you just want to say, get it close.
Van Auken got the bucket. Now we have a turnover quickly down court, and Bogan's.
Oh boy!
Here's a long 3, way short. Bogan's prevented or altered the thinking of the Cal Mum player, and driving to the lane and laying it is Fanil, the captain in Fanil, and what a play! And quickly, Dickens calls the timeout.
Cal Mum had a shot. They made their first basket. They had a transition layup opportunity, pulled it out. And, again, I think Coach Dickens is not happy with that almost NBA 3. It is a difficulty. One of the difficulties of playing here, they have so many lines. They have the high school line, three-point line. They have the college three-point line. And they have where the Razor Sharks play, which is whatever league they are in.
By the way, we have this timeout. Have you heard what the NBA is looking at?
4-point shot? Did I see that? Steve Kerr may want to come out of retirement if they have a 4-point shot put in. I did see a little quick blurb on that. The Razor Sharks had that a couple years ago when I came up to a game. They had some weird light came on, and it was like 4-point eligible.
So it's a 15-point Clyde lead. A nice answer by Fanil as Van Auken, the go-to guy for Cal Mum, scored the opening bucket of this half, and they need a couple of runs.
Clyde is in their matchup zone. 1-2-2 with Joe Main at the top.
And here's a steal by Fanil inside. Steal by Fanil. That rhymes, and I bet it's not the first time that's been said. Doig. Bogan's at the foul line. A dribble out to Turner, back out front to Doig. Clyde showing good patience against, what is that, man-to-man?
It's man-to-man, sagged off of Doig and sagged off of Turner a little bit. More help on the big 3, as we talked about.
Bogan's pull-up jumper, short, and not a great shot selection that time.
But a shot he made all first half.
Here's Cal Mum the other way. Cross-court dangerous pass. It was knocked away but taken back by Cal Mum, but a quick forced kind of awkward shot missed, and here comes Cal Mum. Or excuse me, Clyde-Savannah, and a blocking foul will send Bogans to the line. And again, and you cited this early, Zach, Cal Mum trying to compete in that transition game that they don't match up particularly well against Clyde with.
Kyle Preston shooting a running floater in the lane is not what Cal Mum needs. They need to take good open set shots, and I thought the call was good in the open court here, the block call. I don't think it was a charge. Joe Main does miss the free throw. Cal-Mum really has got to look to try to get it to single digits here going into the third quarter. You're not going to make a huge run. Just get it to single digits, one possession at a time. Get the ball to Van Auken. They've done it a couple times here recently. He's been successful. Let him carry you. The big fella is a pretty good player. You got to give him the ball, though.
So Bogans misses both free throws, and now Cal-Mum will try to get something going on offense. Nearly steps. Here's a quick trigger again, but that shot good by Van Auken from
as I say to
15.
As I say to my players, sometimes it's not rocket science. Get the ball to your player in the spot he's comfortable. Van Auken with another jumper from the high post right about the elbow. Very comfortable there.
Fanil pulls the trigger. Swish from 3. He's having a tremendous game in double figures.
Right now, if I'm voting MVP, Joey gets my MVP.
For this game, I would say so. I don't know. They usually count the they put a lot of emphasis on the semi. They're supposed to count all the games. But
it's just the semis
and the finals.
Yeah, it's just the semis and the finals.
40-24, Clyde all over the Red Raiders of Cal-Mum. And Dickens looking for some answers on the sideline, and
Cal-Mum looking to trap a little bit, and that opens up Jomaine wide
pretty
open on
pass,
the block.
misses the layup, but he'll go the line to shoot one, or shoot a pair. And you can almost feel the crowd deflated here. The Cal-Mum crowd is the crowd in front of us. On the far side, across from us, the Clyde-Savannah faithful. And Bogans hits that one. Have you heard any plans for Bogan or DeSanto after high school?
I know a couple Division III schools were looking at Cam. His major is something with forestry, I believe, and there's a school in Syracuse that he wants to go to. They're not Division III affiliated. His dad is kind of, I've had to talk with his dad a little bit. I'm not sure either have finalized their plans. And same with Joey. I think Joey could play somewhere as well, basketball and definitely football. All three are probably going to have their option if they want to go somewhere.
Well, here comes Clyde after a Cal-Mum miss, and Bogan's laying it up and in with contact. And he may be 1 out of his last 4 free throws, but he gets the bucket there, and a 19-point Golden Eagle lead. Layup inside, no good by Cal-Mum, and they just they look like deer in the headlights right now.
It's just too easy right now for Clyde offensively. I mean, Jomaine with a layup, and as again, right now you're down 19. You can't play slow ball. You've got to try to run with Clyde. You've got to try to score some buckets.
Inside, dangerous pass, but Cal-Mum retains. Now looping it outside, in the runner in the lane, and an offensive foul. Again, he left his feet where nowhere to go.
Just things I don't think, I've seen Cal-Mum a couple times on tape this year. Very uncharacteristic.
That was
playing at almost like a hyper speed. Maybe a little bit of panic starting to set in.
And we don't mean Jeff Panic.
Not Jeff Panic, no. Jeff Panic is at the Waterloo girls game right now. Waterloo is down 1 to Mid Lakes at halftime.
Wow.
18-17.
So that is the game preceding as inside Fanil again.
And Dave.
Or Turner, excuse me.
This game is getting out of hand.
A 21-point lead, and there's a bucket. It will count, and a Clyde foul will send Curtis Halt, who really, nobody's lit it up for Cal-Mum, but I believe he's their leading scorer. You mentioned the stats here, 1 block by Clyde in the first half. I got to think that might be a Cal-Mum mother taking those stats.
Definitely had a lot of shots altered. And Cal-Mum right now, they might want to look to try something a little different defensively, try to maybe get a trap or a steal. They need to get a couple easy baskets. But if Joey keeps hitting these jumpers like he just shot up.
And he does! Bullseye from 3.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Fanil having a great afternoon. Nice young man. Spoke to him after our webcast as we have a timeout on the court.
And as a coach right now, you really don't have a lot of answers. There's nothing that you can do. You're 3:43 left in the third. You got to try to keep your kids positive. When you get to the sectional finals and you're down 22 in the third quarter, It's got to be frustrating, both for the coaching staff and for the players. For Clyde-Savannah, I would say keep it running, keep rolling. There's no need to slow it down. I don't think they plan on doing it. Joey has just been outstanding.
Well, you run if it's there. If it's not, they've shown the ability to not get ahead of themselves and continue to run the offense. So I'm glad you mentioned that Waterloo game. So Waterloo hoping to avoid that beat a team twice in a regular season, lose the third time, which happened to Geneva, who led only to see Wayne score 6 points, including the final at the buzzer last night. And so we have 4 Finger Lakes teams in those 2 finals, a tribute to the quality of play in the Finger Lakes. Here right now, 48-26. Clyde all over the Red Raiders by 22. Dave Barnick up here at the Blue Cross Arena at the Rochester War Memorial with Zach Young, Jim Sinacropi, and Jeremy Hunt.
You can see Calmon did change up a defensive look. They're in a 1-3-1, full court, looking to get the little trap, try to make something happen. Clyde doesn't have any problem with it.
None whatsoever, as Bogan now finds DeSanto. And this could also be
dropping to, it looks like an extended 2-3 zone, Dave.
As Fanil feeling it.
He is human.
He doesn't get that one to go. I was going to say the way this game has gone so far, Tim Jackson, as that is a good, the Calmon fans don't like it, but it looked to me like one of the easier charge calls. I haven't seen a call that easy since the block that should have been called on Duke.
Yeah, Coach Dickens not arguing. You can see trying to keep his poise over there. Kids are still playing hard, Dave. They're still playing hard. They just can't put the ball in the bucket.
48-26. Clyde with a basketball and the big lead. DeSanto, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play a whole lot in the fourth quarter if this score remains similar to as it is now, because it looks like they may well have more basketball left in their schedule. Inside DeSanto, yes, pretty move. Used his body to keep the defender away, and he got the inside bucket, and he's in double figures.
You pick your poison. That time, out on Joey Faneuil. He dumps it into Cam. Cam with a one-on-one is unstoppable pretty much with the players that Calmon have guarding them.
So we have 3 players in double figures. The big 3, 2 big guys, and the very impressive guard Faneuil as Turner picks up a foul. 50-26. Actually, I don't know all the scores, obviously, from Clyde's last 5, 6, 7, 8 games, but several have been much, much closer than this one here this afternoon. And Bogans with a near steal. Ball hawking. Inside Van Auken, pretty move, it won't go.
I like your point about DeSanto. I think you get through 3 quarters, maybe the first minute or 2 of the fourth. Calmon trapping out of a 2-3 hits the ref. Another bad break. They might have had a bucket the other way.
Well, you know, DeSanto, probably the coach, I don't know if you even think about this kind of stuff, but with a big lead, he doesn't want to take away the opportunity for him to get on the alternate team. But that secondary,
bigger goals,
staying healthy.
Bigger goals for Clyde-Savannah. Their goal, they've talked about it all year, winning states. So you have to one game at a time. If you're up, it doesn't look like they're having any issues right now, and they're still trapping.
When we get a break, I'll remind listeners of that tremendous, as a nice second effort by Calmon gets a bucket inside. Couldn't quite. McEwen with a bucket. I'll remind listeners of the last time Clyde won a state title is Bogan with a strong baseline move. Dominating inside, and Turner with the Spalding burger rejects Van Auken, and nearly he could have changed the light bulb at the Blue Cross Arena on that block.
For Van Auken, you're seeing what a lot of teams in Wayne County saw all year.
And DeSanto now will get a break. 1.5 minutes to go, third quarter, and Calmon You know, they've got their share of offensive boards, but now they're almost a step ahead of themselves, it looks. As again, we have a loose ball, scramble for it, and we got a foul called and a timeout.
The athleticism of Clyde has just taken over the game, Dave. They are just that much more athletic at every position, and the big three has come to play. And like I said earlier, knocking down jump shots, now you have to extend the defense a little bit, and you can just pound it down low. But defensively, I mean, 28 points for Cal Mum. They haven't been held under this. This is a team that scored 100 points once this year. They haven't been held anywhere near this.
They've got 9 minutes and 13 seconds to get 82 more then, if they're going to do that today. Timeout 52-28. Want to again thank all our sponsors for their support throughout the high school basketball season on Finger Lakes 1. When Clyde won the state, they were underdogs against a team from Hamilton High School, home of near Colgate University. Okay. They had a player named Donald Foyle who went on to about a 15-year NBA career.
He had a pretty good career, I remember that.
And Clyde's teamwork was spectacular as they pulled the upset and won that game, and then went on to win the finals against a team I don't even remember the name of. But the Golden Eagles, as you said, have goals, big-time goals this year. Baseline jumper, Bogans. Bang! Joe Maine, Bogans, along with Fanil, DeSanto, and the rest of the Golden Eagles having quite a day.
Now you see DeSanto out of the game. In for Clyde is number 12, Kirk Lancaster.
And here's an easy one, a rare easy bucket for Van Auken. Unofficially, I have him for 8. But
Murray also into the game for Clyde. Turner on the bench.
A little sloppy the last couple of trips down court for Clyde. Sure, Tim Jackson, he's up there looking sartorially resplendent again this afternoon. The sharp-looking and successful coach. Now, do you guys, as we have a break here with 12.6 seconds, when you have your league meetings, do you have a silent vote on the best dressed coaches in the Wayne County League?
We do not. We do not. Coach Jackson would be in the top 3, I would say, though, for sure.
Would you want to mention who would be in the bottom 1 or 2 or not?
Bottom 1 or 2, Jeff Malasani from Marion, a Clyde graduate.
A Clyde grad.
Some people listening might laugh at that. Jeff usually has his tie. Oh, almost a three-quarter shot. Jeff usually has his tie unbuttoned when he greets me to say hello.
Well, Fanil, just prior to that last-ditch shot by Cal Mum, hit a baseline shot. He's on fire. And Fagwell. And we go to Jeremy Hunt. And back after this.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Jody Torrio. If you're like me, you've got stuff lying around the house that you want to recycle, but you're just not sure how, like broken toasters, vacuum cleaners, or microwaves. At Seneca Meadows, we have a drop-off for those. Bring in anything with a cord, and we'll make sure it's recycled properly through our partnership with 2TRG. It's that easy.
No controversy on the court. It's all Clyde-Savannah, but my broadcast partner, Zach Young, creating controversy, calling out Jeff Molazani as one of the worst-dressed coaches in the Wayne League. And
Jeff's a great guy.
Okay, there's the makeup call.
I'm sure I'm going to get a text about it later.
56-30. He was a super player.
Great player, great career, excellent coach as well.
56-30 as here comes Cal Mum, and that's another rejection, but they call a foul. That Turner's block would have been on the highlights, I think, of any highlight reel in this game.
Have an update on the Waterloo girls game. Waterloo up 29-25 heading into the fourth quarter.
So Midlake's giving them all they want here this afternoon. Foul shot is good by Van Auken. You kind of hope this appears to be the final. Well, he's only a junior, but close out the season in double figures. Getting close to that point now. He hits 2 free throws. But it's still a 24-point lead as pressure. This is a tough spot trying to press Clyde with the personnel that you have.
Yeah, it's one of those things. In our game in the semis, we were lucky enough to hit some shots early. If we would have got down 10 or 12, the score could have gotten out of hand. But for Cal Mum, trying to trap a little bit out of his own. If you're Clyde, just keep playing your game. There's no reason to stall. They haven't stopped you all game, and they still haven't stopped you.
And Bogans takes the baseline shot and lays it over the rim and in. Big second half for Joe Main, and here's a block by either Turner or Bogans. Down the other way, Fanil! Almost, but he'll go to the line for 2. I have Bogan 4, 5, 7, 8, 16 unofficially. We'll get those official game stats courtesy of Jimson Akropi at the game's conclusion as Fanil at the line for 2.
Curious to see how long Coach Jackson leaves Cam out on the court. I would suspect another minute, maybe 2 minutes. Just want to make sure you're secure. You're up 59-32. Obviously, the main goal is the title. 60-32. Pretty much think Cal Mum has this one in the bag. So we'll see. Or Clyde has this one in the bag.
Yeah, that is Cal Mum's shot quick. Now, earlier we were saying they were forcing things up too quickly. Now with this huge deficit, they basically can't take much time. 1 or 2 passes and shoot it up. And we got steps called on Turner. He's had a few tough calls go against him, but still a difference maker defensively. And we got a timeout by Clyde-Savannah, just 6:56 away from a sectional title.
Tell you what, Clyde they may have a record for back-to-back sectional titles with the biggest winning deficit. Last year's score versus Kendall, 72-28. Looks like right now we may win by, Clyde may win by 30. I don't know if they keep stats on that type of thing.
Well,
however,
do you know the first team to ever have 5 sectional titles in a row?
I do not.
South Seneca Falcons.
South Seneca.
And they did it when there were fewer classes. And then the girls did it some years later.
Girls had
I'm
a great,
trying to remember who knocked
run.
them off in the finals. I almost wonder if it was Cal Mum, but I can't recall that. Having a fine season, and they play after the Waterloo girls today.
Yep, correct. I saw a couple people going over. I'm going over to watch the Lady Lions play for a sectional title today versus Pembroke. That game's at 5 o'clock.
You're going to do the quick zigzag, or are we dropping you off?
Well, I am. I have a friend here who is going over there, so we may stop somewhere and watch a little bit of the Syracuse game, and then head down to Rush Henrietta.
As I understand, your private plane was in for repairs today.
That is true. That is true. And then Minders girls play at 7. My goddaughter, Madison Hillmeyer, will attempt to get another sectional title for the Blue Devils.
Inside, and Turner, the basket, and 1.
At this point, you're up 30. I say you got to have DeSanto out of the game. He is. Oh, he's still in the game. I would probably get some of my bench guys who are there at every practice, working hard. A couple of minutes. I'm sure Coach Jackson will. But right now, it's a nice feeling, up 30 in the fourth quarter of a sectional final. You can relax a little bit. I see him laughing with Coach DeSanto over there on the bench, having a couple laughs, and you can kind of relax and kick back. And
leading by 30 with their starting 5 in. As you said, I think another minute or two, you'll start to see these players enjoy and laugh it up while their buddies take the court. As Cal Mum
not giving up in a little 1-2-2 press.
Curtis Hout in double figures, I think the only player. And here's a layup. Turner, nice feed. I don't know who made that. It wasn't Bachman overdrive Turner, but someone made a nice feed to Michael.
That was DeSanto.
And DeSanto has a steal here. What a clinic, as they say, by the Golden Eagles this afternoon.
That's been impressive. Impressive on offense and defense, both unselfish play, hitting jump shots, really moving the ball well.
A little different from the game Monday night, which was 47-43. In fact, two very close games against Lions as Bogan driving the lane and scooping it up and in. He's really had a big second half. I'm going to try to give you those numbers. Blocked away. Was that Turner again?
I think that was DeSanto that time.
And DeSanto has his shot blocked, but it comes out deep to Doig.
So when I see Cam going up for one of those layups, I kind of just am wincing a little bit. I don't want to see anything happen at this point,
Yeah, because, you might say, well, he's so much better, he's able to be out there, and yet he didn't play at all Monday despite being suited up. And here's a knockaway by Doig, but it'll be Calmon ball. 4:54 remaining, 66-34. Clyde all over Calmon. They led 16-9 after one, 35-20 at halftime.
Some coaches, Dave's philosophy is also, wait until Calmon waves the white flag. They still have their starters in, so I can see Coach Jackson's point of view there. Wait till they put their subs in, and then he maybe starts to get his in. And
there was another Turner altered shot as Calmon seemed to have an easy shot inside, but then Turner came over and the shot was missed. Clyde, DeSanto, swish, just a foot inside the foul line, 68-34, doubling the Calmon score. They lost a close one early to Perry, and they hadn't lost any others the entire season. But it's lights out here today. Difficult. And
I want to give some props to Coach Dickens. I think a lot of people thought last year was going to be Calmon's team. They were the #1 seed. They had graduated a lot of seniors. Kind of a little bit of a surprise this year to get this far, and I think he's done a great job. I think he's an excellent coach. He's been to the semis a lot, second time in the finals. He's going to get one of these days. The program is in good shape with him at the helm. And
you said a really decent guy, too, a really nice guy as you had chatted with him before the game. And here's a bucket by Curtis Hout. Really has been the best that they've had to offer offensively here today. I have him with 13 in the game, but still a 32-point deficit. And again, I'm surprised that, well, with 4 minutes left and a 32-point difference, but I would imagine in the next minute or so we'll see multiple subs. Missed foul shot that time. And the Golden Eagles will juice some of that clock out front. Leading 68-36 inside Bogans. Goes up, lays it in. Almost like passive resistance, and that's it. 70-36. Who would have expected? Layup, no. Second effort, no. Van Alken lays that one up. Their offensive boards have been okay.
Just haven't been able to finish quite honestly. A lot of altered shots, and like I said, their players played Clyde's game today, and you have to try to make Clyde a little uncomfortable, slow him down, and they wanted to try to play fast, and Clyde's very comfortable with that, as you can see.
Leading by 32 and with the basketball. Now Thursday nights should be an interesting Upstate Hoops podcast. 9 o'clock, I believe, as DeSanto gets another hoop. And Cam inside. It's you can kind of see the efforts dissipating for Calmon right now on the defensive side of things. And they throw up a long bomb. It won't go. Behind the back pass. Nice feed and the lay-in They had a lot more of that as Marty Callan gets his first hoop of the afternoon. And we see the first players from each team to be coming off the bench here shortly this quarter.
Update on Waterloo girls up 10 over Mid Lakes with 2:28 to go.
So things looking better for the Tribe. Right here, timeout 72-40. And after every Thursday night, it's the Orange podcast.
Upstate Hoops and Orange.
From I've enjoyed a couple of occasions of participating on those shows. Here it's a 32-point lead, Clyde in front. All that remains is the final score and the all tournament teams, and then get ready to, I guess, relax on Sunday and scout Monday and practice Monday and Tuesday.
From that vantage point, the nicest thing when you have that bye, which we did last year, is you're able to give your kids a day off. You know, during sectionals, you're going every single day. You can give your kids a day off. We practiced Monday, practice Tuesday, play Wednesday. On the other two teams, you have to have a practice tomorrow. You know, you have to get prepared for a game Monday, which is difficult to do, and get your kids focused. And as you mentioned earlier, a lot of people think, you know, sectionals is what you want, the rest is gravy. To try to get your kids back in focused. You know, I don't think it's going to be a problem for Clyde because they won sectionals last year, but to try to get your kids back focused for those state games can be difficult.
They show a lot of poise and discipline as they've been successful.
All the subs in now for Clyde as well with 2 minutes to go.
And we're going to give you all those names of all the Clyde players as we still see there's that shot was from about 25 and it only won about 20.
We've got Ryan Breen, Shaquan Hackins. Murray, as I talked about early in the game, the freshman out there. Kirk Lancaster. And I'm trying to get the other one. Jordan Munson, the senior, 6 feet tall. Nice to see these kids get some time. They're at every practice. And you can't just practice with 5 or 6 guys. Being in a situation this year, we only had 8 or 9. I can't tell you how difficult it can be when you have some guys banged up or you have some guys out sick to practice with 8 or 9 players. One of the disadvantages of a Class C school compared to your A's and B's is can you have that competitive type atmosphere at practice.
And you may bring a couple kids up from the JVs to help you practice, but
it's still not the same.
Yeah,
and it takes away from them.
The JVs
it's difficult. It's difficult.
We had a chance to get in the scoring column at the foul line, and doing it is Jordan Munson. And Munson had the burners on, and he'll get a chance for another one in the scoring column at the big house.
Nice of the Clyde kids all standing up, supporting their fellow senior.
Well, I'm sure they expected to win. Teams that get to this point are confident, but I doubt they expected a win of near 30 points. As a nice move inside for Clyde, a player must be up from the JVs. We don't have that number.
Yeah, at this point you probably have your JV kids in for Cal-Mum, and some of those numbers don't get reported to the Section 5 website in time.
We're down to the final minute and 3, and then it's celebration time for the Golden Eagles. They last won a title a year ago, 2013.
Back-to-back for Clyde.
And substitutions for both teams. Nice left-handed layup. Again, that's Callan. Looks like he's got a little game in him. He's got 3 buckets. 74-47. Let's see if one of the other subs for Clyde can get in the scoring column. It's Lancaster outside with it. Now they go to Munson. He leaves. Long bomb. No, by Murray. And 25 seconds away from a Section 5 title. Here's Cal-Mum the other way. Shot is blocked. Here comes the Golden Eagles the other way. Lancaster with it. Corner shot. Short. Oh, they wanted to explode for Haskins that time. And this will just about do it. The final count, 3, 2, 1, bullseye, championship, game over. The Golden Eagles romp 74-47 all over the now twice beaten Caledonia-Mumford Red Raiders here at the Rochester War Memorial. We'll be back, Dave Barnick along with Zach Young, right after this to wrap things up.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Alan Larson. At Seneca Meadows, landfill gas is used as fuel to generate electricity to power between 12,000 and 18,000 homes. And because this fuel is burned at high temperature, it doesn't go into the atmosphere. To learn more, watch our videos at senecameadows.com.
From the Rochester Community War Memorial, the Blue Cross Arena, where the Golden Eagles of Clyde-Savannah have went back-to-back, winning another sectional title. We didn't expect it to be this easy, as it turned out, all over the Caledonia-Mumford Red Raiders, 74-47. And Zach, you know, the first 4 minutes were an array of turnovers by both teams, and it seemed like Caledonia threw it away more than Clyde, but they weren't converting many of those early, so the score was not that different through the first 4, 5, 6 minutes, and then they just I think they probably outscored Caledonia every single quarter en route to a 27-point victory. And you could point the fingers, well, I guess really if you just say big three from Clyde, I would guess, we'll do the arithmetic in a minute.
Yeah, great.
Those three outscored the entire Caledonia team, I would think.
Great game from the big three. You know, Joe Faniel, 23 points, only missed 3 shots. 9 for 12 from the field. Cam DeSanto, a double-double. You know, a lot of people didn't know how healthy he was going to be coming in. I still don't think he's 100%, but he's closer to 100% than he is 50%. He had 15 points, 10 boards, 7-11 from the field, which is outstanding. And then Joe Main, 22 points, 10 for 17 from the field. All three of those guys shooting the ball well. And some of the role players, you know, we mentioned Turner a couple times tonight with his hustle. We mentioned Doig taking a couple of charges. Even Murray early in the second quarter with a little runner contributing. And the big three, when the big three's rolling, Clyde is tough to beat.
Well, Zach, I'll go over the game stats here, while hopefully you can get a final report on that Waterloo girls game, and then we'll wrap it up here from the Blue Cross Arena at the Rochester War Memorial. First, for the now 19-2 Caledonia-Mumford Red Raiders, is Preston, a foul shot, 1 point. Thomas Barefoot, a bucket early, 2 points. Chris Wilson, a bucket, 2 points. Curtis Haught, leading scorer, 13 in the game for Cal Mum. Will Van Auken, 31 in the semis, 12 here this afternoon, and only 2 unofficially in the first half, 12 points. 2 points for Spencer Hartz. Jake McEwen with 8 points, 7 for Marty Callan, and that's a total of 47 points for the Caledonia-Mumford Red Raiders. On the other side of the ledger, Jason Doig, the point guard, some early foul trouble, did not score. Joe Fanil, your game's leading scorer with 23 points. Cam DeSanto with 15. We were watching him closely, didn't play due to that ankle injury in the semifinal Monday. Good performance here today. Michael Turner, what can you say about that kid defensively? 8 points. Jomaine Bogan with 22. Missed some easy ones earlier. He would have been around 30. Cal Felker, a bucket, 2 points. Jarrett Murray, 2 points. Jordan Munson, 2 points. So let me just name those other Clyde players. Ryan Breen, Jaquan Haskins, Kirk Lancaster, and the rest of the Clyde-Savannah Golden Eagles coached by Section 5 championship coach 2 years in a row, Tim Jackson. They'll wait to see who wins that Bloomfield game coming up, and they will play Wednesday night. Final comments? Any final score on that Waterloo game, Zach?
Final comments from this game, Clyde-Savannah offensively probably picked their best game of the year. 57% from the field they were as a team, which is outstanding in a high school game. Final score here in the Waterloo game. It's not final yet. Waterloo is up 9 on Mid-Lakes with 43 seconds to go. Congratulations to Clyde. I think they have a good matchup going into whoever they play of the 3 remaining teams in Class C. And they have a chance to hopefully get to Buffalo and represent Section 5 at Glens Falls. I think that's going to be, you don't want to look too far ahead. They have their sectional title. I think they should be okay on Wednesday. I would make them the favorite over any of those 3 teams. The game in Buffalo will be a tough game for them, and that's going to be, the winner goes to Glens Falls. So we'll see. Number 1 in the state.
An extra couple of days for Cam DeSanto to rest that healing ankle. They have size, they have speed, they have great discipline. They had several tough games, none tougher than 2 of them against your Lions earlier in the year. A pleasure working with you this afternoon, Zach. And
you too, Dave. It was fun. Hopefully you can have somebody else doing this next year around this time, though, with you instead of myself.
I hear what you're saying. I want to thank, of course, Jeremy Hunt for his excellent job on production, and our go-to guy, everything, our station, our web owner, Jim Sinacropi. It's been fun for me, Dave Barnick. So, from the Rochester Community War Memorial, the Blue Cross Arena, where a dominating performance by the Golden Eagles of Clyde-Savannah, 74-47 victors over Cal Mum. Have a great afternoon. Go Orange, and may the force be with you.